Dear friends, good morning to all of you. I'm here with you today to have a glimpse into the question papers you got in UPSC Sociology 2024. I never discuss the question papers with the students because when a teacher is discussing the question paper with the students, those who have written the paper, if they find out something they are missing in their answer, they feel extremely low. So what you have written, that you have written, there is no need to do post-mortem about it. So instead of discussing the question paper, I'll be giving more importance on how as teachers we should be teaching a particular topic in such a great detail to the students that any question that may come in the exam, students will never find difficult to answer these questions. Always you have to keep in mind, a group of professors from the university, they prepare questions for you. And the questions that are asked to you are not simple. Very often it is being spelled out. Question papers are too simple. Question papers are difficult. Questions are indirect. There is no problem with the question. When a body of teachers are preparing question, they keep syllabus in their hand. They are being provided with previous year question papers. They know the level of difficulty in which they have to frame the question, how they will be relating the questions to contemporary context, how questions will not be repetitive per se. But most of the time, we misread it. So there is a myth that questions are primarily repeated. Questions are not repeated. Our understanding of the questions is primarily wrong. I'll be giving you some importance about it. Suppose in sociology, there is a topic called as values and facts. Sitting here, I can make 10 questions on values and facts. First would be distinguish between values and facts and how they are relevant in sociological research. Second question would be, value and sociology cannot be separated from each other. Third, value freedom is primarily glorified in sociology, but difficult to practice. A question came this year, objectivity is overhyped in the domain of sociology. We can relate these questions, relate this topic with some topics in sociology syllabus. Examine the interface between values and fact in sociological analysis of Durkheim, Weber, and Karl Marx. Values direct people's life. Explain that with reference to phenomenological understanding of social life. So you can have hundreds of questions from a particular topic. The moment you see these words are mentioned in the syllabus year after year, you carry this perception that questions are repeated. So what I really want students to do is to go for a holistic preparation. And when I say holistic preparation, I'll be meaning that you should be studying a particular topic in such a great detail. And your teacher should be explaining that particular topic related to different kinds of events surrounding you. The events connected to international scenario, or these concepts can be related to different domains of your syllabus. Once you know that interconnectivity, once you have that conceptual clarity, once you can easily primarily use that concept in different domains of your sociology syllabus, then any question, trust me, comes in the exam will never ever be difficult for you. And most of the time what happens, students prepare structured notes. So when you prepare structured notes and try to answer the questions from out of the content that you are carrying in the notes, question demands something, you are not able to highlight on that. Therefore, you lose score. Trust me, any basic reading you go through, any materials you refer to, any topper's note you get, easily you can get around 240 marks to 250 marks in sociology. If you are writing some test practices, doing some test practices continuously, you will be getting another 20 marks, 270 marks you will be getting. But to break that ice to cross 300 marks, you should know the content. You should understand the demand of the question. Your answer should be apt. You should be able to interconnect. So few questions I'll be discussing with you on the question that came in the exam. So therefrom you can make a note of what a good answer is and how you can primarily nurture that habit of writing a good answer. So therefore don't read the questions as simple or don't read the questions as primarily difficult. Questions are question and examiner is asking you this question, paper setters are asking you this question, applying their mind. They live their life with the discipline. They are not preparing questions in a hurry. They are a team of experts. They have plenty of time in hand to make the question. They have done research, they have read thoroughly, they have got sufficient content, they want to cover the entire syllabus. Therefore, the question that they are making are the questions intended, questions planned, and questions with some hidden ideas in mind. Saying so, I will be discussing few questions with you. You will see how your common sensual understanding of these questions are greatly different from, the demand that questions make from you. I have seen some videos where people are saying that questions are too easy. Students can write it. Questions are not easy or difficult. How you are writing, that is important. What content you are giving, that is important. Your expression is important. And that makes difference between 240 and 320. Let us look into this question, first question, which is being read as a very simple question. Discuss the nature of sociology and highlight its relationship with social anthropology. You never had a question before on nature of sociology. You never had a question before on nature of sociology. And most of you will be preparing on scope of sociology. If you look into the whole concept of nature, what is the nature of sociology? Nature of sociology means what kind of discipline sociology is. When you look at a discipline, the way you know a discipline is more or less similar to the way you know a person, the way you know a country. So, when I am talking about what kind of discipline sociology is, 3-4 things I have to keep in mind. One, its subject matter. So, what sociology studies that makes it different from other branch of social sciences, or bringing it closer to other branch of social science? What sociology does, that it brings it closer, the discipline comes closer to, some people say natural science. So, subject matter of sociology is important. Second, you have to give importance on methodology. What kind of method sociology is using? Third, you have to give importance on approaches. So, in order to know the nature of the discipline, we have to know what sociology does. What are the subject matters of sociology? What are the methods of sociological research? And what are the approaches or the theories that sociology is using while conducting research? And we'll be finding out there is no unanimity of agreement among the sociologists pertaining to the subject matter of sociology. You have different kinds of sociology: macro, meso, micro. Macro sociology gives importance on the study of society, social change, continuity. Meso sociology gives importance on institution, social processes. Micro sociology gives importance on action, cognition, interaction. So, therefore, subject matter of sociology is not fixed the way subject matter of other social sciences are, natural sciences. Similarly, we pursue different kinds of methods: positivistic methods, interpretation hermeneutical methods. We are going for dialectical methods. We are going for, reflexive methods. So, we are going for varieties of methods in sociology. And methods we classify into two types: qualitative method or quantitative methods. So, therefore, methodological variability is the essence of sociology. Sociology deals with the study of social life that includes institution and social action and interaction. And sociological approaches are also multiple. You have functionalism, you have Marxism, you have conflict theory, you have critical analysis, you have feminist approach, you have phenomenology, you have dramatology. So, number of approaches are there, postmodern theory. So, diversity is the essence of sociology. Variability is the essence of sociology. So, now tell me, what is the nature of sociology? In 4 sentences, I will be explaining the nature of sociology. Seeing particular in general. Sociology studies a particular phenomena. Like M.N. Srinivas is studying Rampura village. He is studying Kurks of Mysore. There he is finding out a group of tribes are imitating to the cultural traits of Brahmins, and he is using the concept of Brahminization. Then this concept is applicable to the whole of India to study caste mobility. Therefore, prime concern of sociology is to study something particular and to develop a generalization about it. Seeing strange in familiar. So, sociology find out something strange in familiar. So, what you consider as regular, repetitive, continuous, within that you find out something unique and something exclusive. If you look into husband-wife relationship, it's a continuous relationship, harmonic relationship. There is cooperation, there is conflict. But if you look at it from a sociological lens, as a feminist, you find out present within this everyday relationship, there is strange, something strange. And that something strange is patriarchy. So interpersonal relationship is driven by patriarchy. That may be the woman of the family may be working, but still she is in charge of family kitchen. She is working, yet she is concerned about child nurturing. She is working, yet she is primarily concerned about providing hospitality to the husband. So behind everything normal, behind everything familiar, there is present something strange. And that exploration of something strange is the essence of sociology. And that you can explain with reference to inequality present within a village. That exclusivity you can find out present in dominant caste. So behind everything regular, you find out something strange present, and that exploration of strange is the essence of sociology. Seeing the essence in complexity. The fundamental concern of sociology is to see the social world surrounding us, institutions they may be, family life that may be, larger society it may be, is highly complex. Complex because it is coming out of social action of the people, driven by different motives, supported by different kinds of values. So therefore every reality is complex. Max Weber talks about it. Bureaucracy is not something falling from the sky. Bureaucracy as an institution is coming out of bureaucratic behavior of the people, engineered by legal rational action of the people. But all people joining bureaucracy are not driven by same motives. Some may join bureaucracy to get status, others may join bureaucracy for power, others may be joining bureaucracy for primarily, self-interest. Others may be joining bureaucracy to take revenge on others, others may be joining bureaucracy to do a service to the nation. Some may be joining bureaucracy driven by all these factors together. So therefore, every reality is primarily complex. And the essentiality of that complex, core of that complex, is the subject matter of sociology. Therefore, Weber tells, ideal type is not actual type, ideal type is not average type, it is an approximation to truth, understanding the essence of truth. So therefore, sociology sees essence in complexity. Similarly, you will be finding out sociology explores or sees hidden truth. Sociology is primarily exploring the hidden truth. Hidden truth is what? Critical theory talks about the hidden truth. Feminists talk about hidden truth. Hidden truth is how state is primarily using cultural industry to control and regulate the behavior of the people. It is not visible. It is not noticed. So it is hidden agenda of the state, whatever may be the nature of the state. Every state is primarily controlling family, controlling media, controlling other institutions, cultural institutions, and stimulate people to think the way state want them to think. They subscribe to the ideology of the state. Therefore, education is not a system of transmission of knowledge. Education is a system through which dominant ideology is transmitted into the mass mind. Therefore, they think in the line of the state. work according to the commands of the state. Therefore, consensus is maintained in society. So, therefore, that hegemony must be replaced by a counter hegemony. So, therefore, look into the beauty of sociology. Sociology finds out general in particular. Sociology finds out strange in familiar. Sociology looks into the essence of complexity, and sociology explores hidden truth. You can add on to it. Therefore, what is nature of sociology? So, sociology never primarily studies facts as they are present, the way it is proclaimed by one group of sociologists. Sociology is concerned about different kinds of phenomena and exploring them in divergent ways. That is the nature of sociology. Like other natural science, social science discipline, it is not having a fixed characteristics. So, therefore, we have different approaches, we have different theories, we have different methods, we have different forms of analysis in sociology. So, diversity is the essence of sociology. Debate, discussion, deliberation on a particular theme is the essence of sociology. Therefore, any chapter you do in sociology, there will be varied approaches, varied debates, varied discussions and varied opinions. That is the nature of sociology. So, when you are writing answer for a 10 marker, what should you write? You should write 2 sentences. Sociology is not like a gift pack, nicely worked and given it to the people who are pursuing the discipline. Sociology is different, diverse in terms of its approaches, in terms of its theories, in terms of its analysis, though its fundamental concern is to study social structure, social relationship, social action and social change. And mostly sociology is concerned with the study of modern societies. Look at another interesting thing. See, this is discuss the nature of sociology. If instead of full stop, there is a comma here, highlight its relationship with social anthropology. The whole focus of the question will be changed. Discuss the nature of sociology, highlighting its relationship with social anthropology. So, how sociology and social anthropology are different in terms of their appeal, in terms of their nature, in terms of their characteristics. So, discussing in detail about the nature of sociology that you are doing now, if a comma is there, the focus of question will be different. Or the question is, discuss the nature of sociology in relation to anthropology and compare between both the disciplines. Focus of the question will be different. So, now let us look into this question. Highlight its relationship with social anthropology. Okay? What people do, they primarily draw a box. Sociology studies modern society, anthropology studies primitive society. Sociology is using multiple methods, anthropology is using field study method. So, this way of writing answer is childish. Let me tell you how to address to this question in a short note. Look into origin. Sociology originated as a discipline to find out the problems of social change taking place in Europe because of Industrial Revolution and French Revolution. So, what kind of problems, crisis that social change brought? To study it and to analyze it, sociology developed as a discipline. To its contrast, anthropology developed in America and Britain for 2 different purposes. In America, you will be finding out there was some tribal concentrations. So, the scholars who are studying this tribal life, native Indians and other tribals, their culture, their society, their way of life, those who are studying, they were anthropologists. And those who are studying urban society, urban problem, urban issues, migration pattern, they are called as sociologists. So, within their society, 2 groups of people were present. tribes living in concentration and the cities, people living in the cities. If you are studying the social structure of these cities, social pathology of these cities, and culture of these cities, crisis in the city, you are a sociologist. Here you are using quantitative method. Here you are using questionnaire. You are using interview, other kinds of methods you are using. And there you are using field study method to study their culture, marriage, family, kinship, technology, mode of production, livelihood patterns, dance, drama, music. You are an anthropologist. But in Britain, the case is different. In Britain, the British were living in metropolitan states, and they had colonies in different parts of the world, more so in Africa. And many African societies were refusing to accept colonial domination. You know, if you look into anthropology, you'll be finding out, Newer tribe lost half its population, but they didn't primarily accept to colonial rule. Therefore, to understand their uniqueness, to understand their culture, political character, religious character, kinship character, a body of anthropologists went to Africa. Max Glockman you talk about, Radcliffe Brown you speak about, so you know, or the Richards you talk about. So all these people, they went to Africa and studied different tribes. And from out of their field work, a book was published, African Political System. Radcliffe Brown, on the basis of these observations, wrote a book, Structure and Function in Primitive Society. So therefore, in case of Britain, those who study colonies, staying with the people, being participant observer, they are called as anthropologists. And same people, when they are coming back to their country and studying metropolitan states, poverty there, inequality there, race relationship there, problems of urban society they studied, they call themselves as sociologists. So therefore, there is a clear-cut distinction between, sociology and anthropology in case of Britain from that of America. If you come to the context of India, you will be finding out that India mein the distinction between metropolitan city and the tribal villages was not present. Because majority of the people in Indian society were living in villages, practicing caste, practicing religion, pursuing agriculture, believing in kinship. Therefore, Indian sociology focused its attention on these people. So therefore, in Indian sociology, the method mostly used by the sociologist were either Indological, historical, or the method was primarily field study method. And field study means village study. Therefore, methodologically, Indian sociology largely is coming close to anthropology. But the people, those who are studying these villages, are not anthropologists, they are sociologists. And subsequently, anthropologists are going to urban space and studying slums, migration pattern. So when sociologists are studying tribal development, sociologists are studying tribal culture, family and kinship, anthropologists are studying urban space. So therefore, distinction between sociology and anthropology is not that clear in the context of India as you see in the context of America or in case of Britain. Saying so will advocate that anthropology as a discipline is drawing heavily from natural science. Because physical anthropology you look into, archaeology you look into, they mostly borrow ideas, methods from natural science. Cultural anthropology also talk about prehistory. So therefore, cultural anthropology also partly borrowing ideas from natural science. And only social anthropology is coming close to sociology. James Fraser has categorically pointed out, he is an anthropologist, cultural anthropologist. He wrote Golden Bough. So James Fraser talks about that anthropology is a branch of sociology that is concerned with the study of primitive society. And similarly, you will be finding out, Evans Pritchard also talking about the same thing. Anthropology is a branch of sociology that is concerned about the study of primitive cultures, primitive society. Radcliffe Brown is going a step ahead and is saying the other name of social anthropology is comparative sociology. So therefore, they study simple society, we study complex society. They go for comparative method, we go for comparative method. They go for objective analysis, we go for objective analysis, empiricism. So therefore, sociology and anthropology are close to each other. Saying so would also be finding out their origin is different from our origin. Their theories are different from our theories. Their analysis is different from our analysis. Because they study everything about something. And we are not just doing that, as I told you in the first place. We study particular to primarily explain in a general way. They study particular to explain particular. We look into reality complex and studying the essence of it. They are studying the reality, so that is absolute in character. We study hidden truth, they study the truth that is exhibited. So therefore, methodologically speaking, as far as sociological approaches are concerned, it is different from that of anthropology. So if a student knows this much, he can handle with the question very nice way. So therefore, understanding question is important. Question looks very simple, but question need to be answered in a different way to give you 300 marks. Next question is, few questions I will be discussing with you. Analyze the changing nature of caste as a status group. This is also, people used to say, a very simple question. Question becomes simple when you write a quality answer and get good score. Question is not simple on the basis of its face value. Why is Weber talking about status group? I used to tell the biggest gift of Karl Marx to the field of sociology is Max Weber. Weber introspect the writings of Marx thoroughly and giving a new direction to sociological imagination and sociological research. When Marx tells the only form of inequality present in society is class, defined by control over the factors of production, and factors of production define production relationship. Other inequalities are a radiative of, reflection of economic inequality. Weber contradicts to that. Weber tells inequality is multidimensional and one kind of inequality is driven by economic factor, other kind of inequality is based upon status, honor and respect, and third kind of inequality is based upon political power. List can be expanded further, but there are three major forms of inequality. So therefore, Weber constructed an ideal type about three different dimensions to inequality. When Weber talks about status as a form of inequality, he clearly demarcates between status attributed to a position and a status group. A person holding a position getting status, as a teacher I am getting some status in society. That is different. Every occupation is associated with certain degrees of status. But status group are an exclusive group. They are a closed community. They practice specific culture. They develop a sense of fraternity, brotherhood. They do not permit outsiders to enter into their group. They maintain social distance from the other groups. So therefore, status group constitute a community. The members have a strong bonding among themselves. They monopolize over exclusive cultural traits of the society, and the status exclusivity of the status group is also endorsed by others present in society. So status group is creating hierarchy. Either you are a part of the status group or you are outside it. And Weber tells, with the advancement of capitalism, when money becomes more important, people using their money power in the market will be possessing or purchasing the status attributes. And their status groups will decline. Their exclusive cultural traits will never be remaining exclusive. For example, if you look into Queen's family in in Britain. So, Queen's family enjoy primarily exclusive status in society. But, people like Lakshmi Mittal having plenty of money, buying a house close to Queen's Place in the same street, using same kind of decorative items, following same kind of lifestyle. If others have same kind of lifestyle, then a status group is carrying. Then status group is losing its significance. Brahminization can be one such indicator. And one such indicator where we will be finding out Brahminic traits are not so exclusive to Brahmins. And more importantly, status exclusivity is not something enforced. It must be universally getting acceptability. If lower caste are accepting to the superiority of the Brahmins in terms of status, then Brahminic status exclusivity will be maintained. But look into Satya Sodhak Samaj, look into Bhakti movement, look into Dravidian movement, look into Dalit mobilization. So they refuse to accept to the supremacy of the Brahmins. And at the same time, modern education, modern employment, bureaucracy, so they have primarily broken the backbone of caste system. As a result of which that Brahminic superiority or Brahminic exclusivity or Brahmins as a status group is no longer being primarily maintained. Saying so, you must have to mention, make your answer always sociological. Though Weber talks about Brahmins constitute a status group, his idea of status group is reinforced by Louis Dumont when he tells, when we are talking about Brahmins, we talk about status. When we are talking about Kshatris, we talk about class and power. No amount of wealth and no amount of power can ever make a non-Brahmin a Brahmin, impure a pure. Therefore, Brahmins were a status group. They are a status group, whether they have money or they have power or they don't have access to it. Therefore, Dumont considers their status character is bound to continue. Similarly, if you look into the analysis of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Ambedkar Sahab considers that caste Brahmins constitute a closed class. So, class here means a class respected, a class wealthy, class powerful. And you can mention, if it is a long answer, Andre Bete's analysis of harmonic system converted into disharmonic system. Dipankar Gupta's analysis of modeling caste and primarily changing hierarchies. And the reference to the fact that caste is not written in the stone, caste is written in sand. So therefore, Brahminic exclusivity is no longer being primarily maintained. You can speak about it, give a sociological touch to it. So in a short note, changing nature of caste as a status group, you can highlight these points. And one more thing, caste not only produces status group, class can also produce status groups. If question space of the question is primarily elaborative, you can write that. Eric Olin Wright talks about the fact, in case of Europe, upper class is going for voluntaristic primarily exclusion. Lower class is going for forced exclusion. and middle class is going for dual closure. So therefore, lower class is going for disruption, engaged in different kind of movement, protest, mobilization, and different kinds of coercive activities, violent activities. Therefore, he writes class matters, because class is not constituting an open system. Within class also upper class constitute a status group. If you look into C. Wright Mill's Power Elite, he writes, power elites, members of the power elite are members of exclusive club, exclusive church. They marry within the community. They don't permit much outsiders to enter into their group. So therefore, symbolically also they are constituting a status group. Maurice Duverger writes how the political elites in case of communist societies constitute a status group. Therefore, status group is a closed community, and status groups are not permitting outsiders to become a part of it. So therefore, where status groups are present, their hierarchy is present. So many dimensions if you get into a question, whatever may be the nature of the question. Suppose look at this question. Caste as a status group is shrinking. If I twist that question, caste as a status group may be shrinking, but caste-like status groups are present in other societies as well. Status groups are universal, but their degree of closeness varies from one society to another society. Define status group and how status group perpetuate inequality in more consolidated manner as against class. Therefore, questions are not duplicated. Same words are used, but the thrust of the questions are different. This is another beautiful question. Marriage as an institution has undergone radical transformation from ritual to commercial in its outlook. Explain the factors behind this change. Marriage is a legitimate union between two persons. Okay? Because now the definition of marriage has changed. Previously, marriage was defined as a legitimate union between a man and a woman to reproduce children for the continuity of their lineage group. Now, different kinds and forms of marriages are taking place. So, queer, primarily marriages, or LGBTQ marriages. So, marriages are taking different kind of forms in different parts of the world. We are not discussing that. The point of analysis here is marriage is a ritual. What is ritual marriage? Ritual marriage is culturally prescriptive. Ritual marriage is conforming to the norms. Ritual marriage is considering marriage is an undissolvable bonding. Ritual marriage makes the marriage partners obliged to their family and kinship. Ritual marriage ensures marriage is a sacred institution. Okay? So therefore, duties, obligations towards each other is defined by cultural norms, sacred text, religion. Okay? It is not only in Hindu society marriage was ritual. Also in case of Catholic society, people go to church, take vows, and primarily marriage for them is a legitimate sacred union. That reminds me a sentence that capitalism is a culture where all that is sacred will be disappearing into the air just like vapor. Capitalism is a system where all that was sacred will be disappearing into air just like a vapor. Therefore, marriage is not sacrosanct that it will not change. Marriage is an institution which is present in a society. When society is going through the process of change, marriage as the institution will not be staying untouched. Therefore, marriage will change when society is changing. When society is changing, interpersonal relationship will change. Individual expectations will change. Expectation from spouse will change. So therefore, if society is becoming commercial, society is becoming money-centric, society is becoming individualistic, society is becoming goal-oriented, then marriage will be changing its basic ethos and characteristics. Therefore, with the arrival of capitalism, you find out the nature and form of marriages are changed. When commercial marriage is used, commercial marriage means what? एक बहुत बढ़िया किताब लिखा हुआ है. You know, Bina Majumdar ka, if you look into Bina Majumdar's work, Karin Kapadia's work, Karin Kapadia tells marrying money is becoming more important than marrying a person. And Bina Majumdar writes an article on economics of dowry. She writes, the dowry is becoming a no investment and high profit phenomena. Therefore, there is a demand for dowry. If dowry is not being demanded, then there is a demand for working woman. She will be making money. So, commercial marriage means person is not important. Devotion is not important, commitment is not important, cultural prescriptions are not important. What is important is how much money a man makes or how much money a woman makes. So that becomes the prime criteria to primarily ensure who marries whom. Number one. Number two, to strengthen business contact. So marriage converts primarily competitors into friends. If two business families are having alliance with each other, that is strengthening their business prospect. So therefore here marriage is becoming commercial. Another important thing will be finding out. People go to same training centers and they marry. So it is because of primarily convenience. Our income will be pulled together, we can have a comfortable family, we can live in the same state, we can have same cadre. So here also marriage is driven by commercial choice. So therefore you will be finding out universities are becoming matchmaking centers. Training academies are becoming matchmaking centers. So rational choice is primarily guiding marriage today than cultural prescriptions. In America you will be finding out one interesting thing. When there is a inflation, when there is a job cut, divorce rate constantly increases. So this trend is a testimony to the fact when family income is shrinking, both the partners are not able to maintain their middle class status. Middle class status means both will be having their personal vehicles, both will be going for shopping, they can order for food, they can be investing money on primarily medicine. So the money they need to primarily spend to maintain their middle class status, if that money is not coming, then there is no meaning to primarily stay together. So with the decline of family income, there is an acceleration in the rate of divorce. So therefore in West, commercial marriages are getting momentum. In India also commercial marriages are getting momentum because globalization has not only connected the economies of the world, it has also provided a space for uniform adherence to value. And that uniform value is individualism, acquisition, accumulation, making wealth, and primarily living a quality life. So if that you are not getting within the framework of marriage, then you say goodbye to marriage. You can go for remarriage or you can prefer to live alone. So therefore, with changing nature of society, there is a change in the nature and form of marriage. And that is standing as a testimony to a shift from ritualistic marriage to commercial marriage. Okay, I think that will be sufficient. So one or two advice I will be giving you here. I just discussed few questions with you because I do not want to discuss all questions because students have taken their exam. They have written what they have written. So discussing the questions more will be identifying the points that they have missed out, the arguments they have missed out. So therefore, I am not going into the details of the question. But my one request is, when you are taking UPSC, you are investing your career. You are investing your prime youth. There is no shortcut to success. If you are told to just read one book, one note, and you can get a good score, that is not possible. Quality teaching, quality understanding, quality notes are important. Every topic in sociology is multidimensional. It can be related to anything and anywhere. So therefore, just don't fall prey to this kind of idea that just read one book. Whatever you are reading, you must primarily get it by heart. You must think about that topic, relate that topic. Once you understand a topic, trust me, it will be so easy for you to write answer. Answer will be coming like a flow. It will be coming like a music. And sociology is the simplest subject to score very good marks. And stereotype answers, same kind of notes, same kind of answer will never be giving you that score. Write something different. Like scope of sociology when I was writing it, nature of sociology. These points I primarily invented on my own. I said, if this is what sociology is doing, then these will be the basic nature of sociology. Otherwise, in books you'll be finding sociology is general, sociology is talking about specific, sociology is talking about study of institution, study of groups, study of association, study of society. So many things are spoken out. Everybody will be writing same thing. Read the content from the book. Apply your mind to the content. Write something new if you want to score 300 plus mark in sociology. So sociology is a discipline. You read less, apply your mind more, and you produce miracles. Let me tell you, getting 300 marks in sociology is never difficult. Only thing is you have to imagine, you have to correlate, you have to integrate, and you have to write without crossing word limit. Okay? Some other occasion I'll be discussing many other questions. Thank you so much. God bless you.